This is another book I had thought about reading for a while, but didn't, thinking it wouldn't cover new things because I've heard about Kahneman's book, Thinking Fast and Slow. But what an amazing book. I would say anybody really interested in how the brain, mind works should definitely read this book, regardless of whatever else you read. For example, I read How Emotions Are Made, in depth look into how emotions are made and how misunderstanding on the emotions we think the brain or we feel is in a certain area of the brain and all that stuff. Anyway, talking about this book, right? Thinking Fast and Slow. It's about system one, system two. That's what Daniel Kahneman calls it. System one is basically kind of loosely subconscious, automatic thinking, automatic instincts, whatever you call it, right? System two is conscious, deliberate thinking. Now we all know we all do things automatically without thinking much. Many of our daily routines are automatic. It's a habit. It happens even we don't know, we're not even aware things are happening and we just do it accidentally. Like even driving a car, right? If you're going to drive a car every day to a certain place, we don't even know how we got there. That's what it is. That's system one, automatic, right? System two is like we have to go to a particular place that we've never been before, then we have to be deliberate and watching out. That's a simple example. Same thing with you learning anything new, so on and so forth. But what he goes into depth, various studies, various experiments it does, is the beauty is how much every one of us can be manipulated very easily. And we wouldn't even believe we could be manipulated. That's the beauty. That's the studies they do. For example, like priming, how things you can be primed to behave a certain way. For example, one of the things that stuck me is about money, right? If people are primed about money, they are a bit more cold, essentially. So the cultures who are very more money motivated, money oriented, wealth oriented, all that stuff, they can be called more non-social, whatever, more less giving, less helping, so on and so forth, evidently. That's the experimentation they did. Also, basically he goes into one of the great things about this is if you're in marketing sales, great book to read, right? How you can prime people to either buy or go away. Like one of the things everybody, probably people know is people are always motivated by loss than gain. 99%, every one of us, even me, I noticed that, right? I'm more motivated by being afraid of a loss than a gain. So when I sense there I would lose something, then I'm like FOMO, the fear of losing out, right? Missing out, right? We all know about that FOMO concept, right? That's another one. On and on. I can go on and on. There's so many things, even the markets, how they behave, so on and so forth, because Kahneman essentially got a Nobel Prize for economics because of the studies he did into psychology of economics, right? Essentially. It is a long book, by the way. Normally I read book week and a half, a book. This one took over 2 weeks for me. Long book, but it was well worth it. Very fascinating study since I'm very interested in the brain, how the brain works anyway, mind works. So it was very fascinating. So many, you know, I can go on and on. There's so many things that I don't even remember all now. I'm listening to it again and I'm like, I missed that. I missed that. So that many insights into how automatic our brains are, how we think and all that stuff. Instincts could be the recordings we had before that essentially automatically trigger based on, our previous experiences, whatever that case is. Most of the time they're right, but obviously we can be primed to be wrong, like initial expressions, initial impressions can be wrong because we just been used to a certain way because a person didn't behave that way or didn't do it that way. We might think something else based on their behavior or however they look. There's so many different factors, right? Anyway, bottom line, thinking fast and slow, must read. If you're any interest in psychology or how the mind works, it's a must read.